Hello everyone, my name is Jungju. It is my pleasure to share my research idea together. Today, I'm going to talk about one of my researches is that different levels of leisure working and mental health among older adults with mild cognitive impairment, which is called MCI. Okay, let me introduce my academic background briefly. I studied spiritual leisure studies and public administration as undergraduate. My master's is in public administration, and my doctoral study is in leisure behavior in Indiana University, Bloomington. Okay, research background. First, mild cognitive impairment, MCI, among older adults. MCI is a transitional intermediate state between normal aging and dementia for older adults. Older adults who are more than 50 years old and are affected by MCI have a higher risk of developing dementia than does the general population. And the annual rate of progression is nearly 20% among older adults. Significant relationship between MCI and mental health and physical activities were found in recent studies. Second, leisure time physical activity benefits. Among various types of leisure time physical activity, leisure working is the most common form of aerobic exercise among older adults. Leisure working is positively associated with increased happiness, subjective well-being, and life satisfaction. And clinical study investigated the effects of leisure working intervention on mental health, and the study found that the leisure working group reported lower stress and higher life satisfaction than the control group after 12 weeks of working intervention. Next, leisure working intensity. Previous studies have demonstrated that leisure working increases cognitive performance, but only a few have addressed how leisure working is associated with mental health and life satisfaction among older adults with MCI. So we found research gap in previous studies. So this study demonstrated the important effects of intensity of leisure working on the mental health of older adults. Little is known about the amount of leisure working appropriate for improving mental health among older adults with MCI. So this study compared the different effects of 3 leisure working groups, high group, moderate group, and light group, on mental health among older adults with MCI. The purpose of this study has 2 hypotheses. Our first research hypothesis was that the 3 leisure working groups would present different mental health statuses. Our second research hypothesis was that older adults with MCI who engaged in more leisure working would report more positive mental health outcomes than those who participated less. Methods. This study used Health and Retirement Study, HRS 2020 core data. The sample size is 834. The inclusion criteria of the study sample is whether the participants have MCI or not. The criteria is assessed based on 3 cognitive function tests: general memory, working memory, and attention and processing speed. First, memory domain was assessed by recall and delayed recall test. The score range is from 0 to 10 in each test. To be specific, after showing a specific word, for example, car, apple, wood, the participants were asked to record immediately or 5 minutes later. Second, the working memory domain was evaluated by 7 subtraction from 100 tests. The score range is from 0 to 5. Specifically, the respondents were asked to subtract 7 from 100. It means 193, 76, 65, and 62, something like that. At last, attention and processing speed domain was measured by counting backward from 20 tests. The score is ranged from 0 to 2. For example, the respondents were asked to counting backward from 20. It means 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, from 20 to 10. The total score of cognitive function ranged from 0 to 27. The boundary point to be identified as MCI is below 12 among 27 points. Instruments. For dependent variables, 5 items of Diana's life satisfaction scale was used to measure life satisfaction. The Crumball alpha value is 0.93. It means there is a satisfactory internal consistency between 5 items in the scale. Next, 7 items of Rife's psychological well-being scale was used to measure happiness. The Crumball alpha value is 0.88. Next, 11 items of University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA scale was used to measure loneliness. The Crumball alpha value is 0.82. 8 items of ongoing chronic stressor scale was used to measure stress. The Crumball alpha value is 0.89. For independent variables, leisure working was measured by 7 Likert scale. In other words, a high score means a high level of leisure working participation. Data analysis. We conducted a multivariate analysis of covariance, which is called Markova. Covariance, we put age and gender to covariance, and dependent variables were life satisfaction, happiness, loneliness, and stress. Independent variable was 3 groups of leisure working. So, as I said, leisure working was measured by 7 Likert scale. So, low group is from 1 to 2 among 7 Likert scale, and mid group from 3 to 5, and high group is from 6 to 7. So again, go back to our study purpose. How different levels of intensity of leisure working are associated with the mental health outcomes of older adults with MCI. Result. This is a summary of univariate analysis in Markova. So, life satisfaction, happiness, loneliness, and stress presented a significant difference following a different level of leisure working groups. Okay. And next, additionally, We conducted bone-ferroning post-hoc tests to investigate the group mean difference in 3 leisure working groups. For life satisfaction, mid group presented higher life satisfaction than low group, and also high group presented higher life satisfaction than low group. For happiness, mid and high group showed higher happiness than low leisure working group. And for loneliness, low and mid groups presented higher loneliness than high leisure working groups. Unless for stress, low and mid groups presented higher stress than high leisure working group. Discussion. Our study extends the study of the relationship between mental health and active engagement in leisure working to older adults with MCI. The result of the current study supports these findings that leisure working can be used as an effective means of promoting mental health and life satisfaction among older adults with MCI. Moderate and vigorous leisure working may increase life satisfaction and happiness and reduce levels of loneliness and stress, providing quantitative evidence of the importance of active engagement in leisure working for mental health and life satisfaction of older adults with MCI. Implications. Healthcare providers and active professionals who work with older adults with MCI can consider ways to strongly encourage older adults with MCI to engage in leisure working. Offering various community-based leisure working programs such as Step It Up, Work This Way, to older adults with MCI would be an effective approach for engaging in them in pleasurable social activities that elicit health benefits. And last, family-based leisure working groups such as Work for Life, Work with Ease, those programs were supportive to increase mental health for older adults with MCI. Any questions? Thank you.